So you want to let's just do some simple warm-ups, Corolla?
Lead or do?
No, I mean, I'm not leading, but we just do some simple warm-ups, and then if people come, we'll just like go into introducing ourselves, and then just play some stuff, and it could be really chill. I'm feeling nervous too, so warm-ups.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love it.
Okay, I'll make our camera wider.
If anybody joins, there'll be a bunch of empty chairs.
Yeah.
Woohoo! I guess we can take turns during warm-up second. You can see
Sure.
You can see me.
Oh.
Okay.
That's nice.
It's just us.
Moving is so much better than sitting on a chair.
It is.
Oh,
It's a little water.
I forgot how to do warm-ups. You both are like.
I'm like, what hurts the most? Let me go there first.
There's no one watching us.
The question is always, what are we warming up for? Right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Now I'm just looking at what you two are doing.
I'm trying to get taller.
I think next time we should offer a non-human / more than human partner workshop, so everybody who attends has to bring a non-human, and I think we'll get lots of people.
Yes. That sounds great.
Dogs, cats, and snakes, and whatever, you know. Maybe somebody looks in their yard, surrounded by butterflies. Oh, cat.
Oh.
Hi,
Hello. Who is this?
this is Kai.
Hi. Hey, welcome. We are warming up. How are you doing?
I am. Okay, maybe I should also warm up.
Yes, please. Feel free.
Yeah.
Yes, we're just
What
moving.
time is it where you are?
It's 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, good time to move, right?
Oh,
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. It is 9 a.m. where we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Ah, I thought you were in London.
We're in the state. We're in the United States.
I'm in the States.
Yeah.
Rubens is coming, I don't know.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We're in, let's see, Corolla, you're in North Carolina?
Yes, North Carolina, right at the coast.
Okay.
The ocean is 20 minutes from here.
Oh, nice.
Far.
Sounds lovely. And we're in Tennessee today.
You're internet today.
But we could be other places in a matter of hours. You could go in any direction.
We are quite far away from each other,
Yeah, where are you?
physically. I'm
for joining us today.
Ruben,
What's
you're
up?
warming up.
Well,
Okay, I don't
shall
know.
we?
Right.
Got here just in time.
Take it out.
Should we zoom it in? Boom. Boom. There we go. There. There we are.
What's up?
Hello.
Good to see you. How you
So good
been?
to see you.
Good to see you. I love this dress. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No hugs? Interesting.
All right.
Okay, I don't know what to do.
Oh.
I guess we could just introduce ourselves.
So we should start by maybe sharing our screen, or do you want to introduce maybe first? So
Yeah, okay.
this is-
I don't know what to say. I'm Maurice Moore. This is our 24-hour assemblage durational performance. Yeah, and it's just
I'm Heather Coker Hawkins. I work with the vocabularies of dance and cinema and make screen-based work, live performance, and more recently, installation work.
Hi, and I'm Carola Durational. I'm originally from Germany, but I live in North Carolina, and I go back and forth a lot between those two worlds. So I kind of come from the lineage of German dance theater, and so my research is around that, and a project called Tracing Gesture, and so I'm investigating how gesture and dance are related, and how thinking and moving are related. And I would say my work is generally social critical, although it is always personal also, and really interested in interpersonal relationships, and personal experiences. And then part of my work always seeks the conversation with the audience. And maybe that's a practice that comes out of German dance theater, in seeing performance as almost like a social responsibility or something, to comment on society and to engage with it and try to improve and make it more just. I guess that's the goal. Whether that's always really functioning or not is another thing. So I work with improvisation, contact improvisation, and I'm also a scenic designer, and I work a lot with video and video projection. And most of my movement work evolves around kinesiology and really reworking, redoing, undoing, and redoing how we teach dance. And that's a really loaded thing, but I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm Ruben Sganov. I'm a painter. I work with sound as well, and storytelling and fiction. I got involved with the project with an idea with Maurice, and that's why I'm here.
Should we maybe share our slides?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to just play the video since we're all here, and then we can go into talking about little bits and pieces, or?
If you want to just tell me where to go, and I'll try to drive the best I can. I'll try to keep up.
I think we should play the video that was compiled of us all doing something, and then we can go into talking about our individual notes.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
And if someone else comes in, if we have time, we can play it again. So it's.
Bear with me. I think I'm going to use this, and we'll see if it's responsive. I'm just going to use my whole screen, so you're going to see everything. All right. So we're going to start with the first video, which looks like it's the last video. The first video is the last video. maybe the screen recorded one is a little cleaner. We'll start with that one. And so, we'll get there. There, okay. This is kind of going backwards then, and like starting to remix each other's work and taking from, and Carola can speak much better about her own work, but it was video documentation and that was shared with all of us, and then starting to see like how we are interacting and how some of the things we're talking about within our research overlap, or one thing I wanted to bring up, which is listening to each of us speak about what we were interested in. It maybe was something that was that was not necessarily either an awareness, my personal awareness, or all of this to say that in interacting with and remixing each other's materials, it was a lovely way to better understand or come up with my own understanding of perhaps like that topic or that investigation. So let me see if I can do this.
Yeah, if I can,
please,
for a minute. This project, I mean, to me, this is really a beginning. I mean, like a micro beginning. It's amazing how fast something fans out into something incredibly complex. And so we have, from first meetings, you know, done lots of drawings, we've done live performances in the workshop. And we did one performance where we had another, 5 musicians involved in the performance. And one of the musicians also made a video art piece out of this from that performance. I also did a short film and a long film. So starting my way towards 24-hour durational events. And so the longer film is an hour long, and I speak over it. Like to me, meaning is always, or signification is very important. So as I was moving, I was then talking over it and recording the sound of what I was experiencing watching this film. And that's an hour long, and that's the material that Heather, that you both then, used and added to. So the idea there is like the telephone game, to make it open to the public, to anyone, to add to, right? To download the thing, to add something to it, and then upload a new version. That's sort of one project I would love to continue from this, that anybody who sees it online can add to this thing. And then I've made a few smaller video of Maurice and I interacting, collaborating together, improvising. And so that's I think an 8-minute video that I have also linked in this document, in this presentation document. But it brings up huge questions for me around collaboration and what collaboration is. And I have a lot of feelings around it. It's very interesting. It makes me really flooded with feelings, which is so strange. But that's really what happens. To me, it's difficult to give something away and then have somebody else do something with it. Like emotionally speaking, for me, that's a difficult thing to do. And I think there's a lot of lessons in community building and how to have to let go of an ownership or some sense of this is precious and this is what it means and the meaning needs to be, preserved and those kinds of things. So for me, that's a huge lesson in social, conviviality, I guess. Really is the word. Things like how to live with each other and how to really honor each other and collaborate, communicate. Yeah.
Carola, did you want to play Carl's video or one of your videos?
Let's see. We could do the disassemble video. Where is it? It's on page. Let me see where it is real quick. Hold on. In our document, I have so many pages open. It takes a little bit for everything to load. And so many other ideas came out of this. Also, the non-binaries in nature is the next project I think we want to do. Going into nature, collaborating with nature. Like the site is always important, as well. It's just really so complex so quickly. Page 16. If you go to page 16 has the link, and page 17 actually should be you should be able to click on it and show the video from that.
If that's not working, I can maybe just share my screen from here, but I
So
will have
yeah,
some.
if you can
It's
go
kind of easier to
to
share.
the link perhaps and click on it
Maybe
that
I should
way.
have got stuff.
And mostly what's happening there for me is, again, so many emotions are happening trying to sense what Maurice is doing and how to be sensitive to those things that are happening in between us, like the electricity or the energy or something is being created. I'm trying to immerse myself into this in-between space between the doer and the viewer, between the done and the happening. So it's a really, I'm still finding words. I'm still not very successful at finding words for what I'm doing in improvisation. That's what's happening there, is trying to sense something that Maurice is giving. Right? They're like manifesting something, and I want to find that and almost feel it with my skin and touch it and move around in that. So what it looks like is kind of what you can see in the film, although film is never the same as the actual event. So it probably would have been also different, you know, if whoever's watching the video was actually there. So that would be a different experience, I think, of the event. So this is becoming, from live performance, it's becoming something completely different, which is a film, right? So this performance was all done at Cameron Art Museum in Wilmington, North Carolina, for the Earth Day events that they had going on at the museum there.
My computer's a little slow to the. But hopefully that'll be.
It's fine.
Okay.
I think I had my eyes closed the whole time because I keep forgetting to break a blindfold. So I didn't know Corolla was there until I actually touched her by accident.
It's a lot of sort of, there should be some sound, I think, of the wind and cars. It's just hearing what's really there. So right now, looking at it, looks like we're in a bubble of some sort, but there's actually, and there's music, the musicians are behind us, we can't see them, and they're all noise artists. They're really fascinated with sounds that come from electronic devices and also any kind of objects, like this paper makes sound, or Maurice's drawing makes sound. So Maurice has their eyes closed, and I feel like I'm also having my eyes closed a lot, I think, during this, trying to sense Maurice. And I think you can see I'm somewhat of an anxious person who's like desperately trying to always find something to latch onto. But
And I mainly did this performance solo, I guess, from 2017 till now. So I never did it with anyone else. So you don't know how you're gonna react to another person coming into it. I don't want to bump into Corolla, or you learn I want this to be a solo performance. I don't want it to be a duo. Or how do you make that,
right.
How do you make that change? And it's just done on some random door, and it was uncomfortable, and I was thinking I don't want to get the door dirty. And it was really hot, and we didn't know. I mean, I think Corolla's been in the space before, but it's you don't know what the space is or what to expect or how you're going to feel, because I was used to doing it isolated in a room, just a chalkboard, and then you're outside, and I didn't know the musicians. I didn't know what they would be playing. And I was listening to music half of the time, so I couldn't hear some of the stuff that the musicians were doing.
I've seen this performance of yours a few times, and I've always wanted to be in the paper, if that makes sense. I would love to figure out how to float around in that. I'm trying to feel the paper, I think, is a lot what I'm doing. I'm trying to feel the lines. And also a lot of things have come up for me during the event, in terms of collaborating or finding connection. If it's not a physical connection, what do I do with myself, right? And for me personally, I have this problem in life in general. If somebody's not looking into my eyes or not responding to me, I feel really lost. And so ideas of connecting, like how else is connection made? How else is collaboration done? What does collaboration want to do? Like, it's actually amazing how many questions came up for me. Around relating with other people and myself, dealing with solitude. The longer video, the 60-minute video is just me. And so that's a whole other starting point.
That's fire.
No idea what she was doing the entire time. Not thinking that the paper was going to fall off. It's just the things that you are thinking about, you don't think you're going to be thinking about. So I'm thinking, I don't want to get stuff on the wall. I did like the paper falling off, but it's just the things that kind of get in the way maybe when you're trying to, I guess, do something and how the materials are. So for me, I feel that Corolla is free and is connecting because she's not doing the mental gymnastics in my head that I'm doing, but we're actually sort of doing the same thing, like trying to connect with, I don't know, the paper or being inside the performance. So I find like that interesting.
And, I was trying to connect to Maurice so much. And then when I let go, the paper was stuck to my hair. And I just absolutely loved that. It was like, all this trying, and here it is. But maybe also all the trying has made this sort of gentle connection. It made me very happy. Actually, I was very happy.
Maurice is like, I'm out.
And I think I didn't notice that Maurice left. So at this point, I think I don't know that yet. I've been abandoned.
Talk about connect, that paper will not let go.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And again, there's something about being alone, or I felt like I wanted to mess with the time, with the continuity of time, and bring those edits and overlap fades in there. Kind of the loss, a sense of loss for me. And all of this paper is going to be blown away by wind. It's very flat. I guess I'm kind of emotional, but to me, it's when the connection is lost, it all dissolves into its individual little pieces again. So, yeah.
Did you want to play a video, Heather, or we could play one with me and Rubens, or?
I would be happy to navigate wherever you want me to go. So I think maybe this is touched on, but maybe not. I think is.
Yeah, I think this I already mentioned a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Working towards durational performance, I think, is something I really. It's a completely different animal, right? To do a 24-hour-long thing.
Mm.
And there's a lot of questions around that. Who is it for? Are the 24 hours of activity for the performer? is it only a 24-hour duration of performance? If the audience is also there for 24 hours, and you know, like the same audience member for 24 hours. In Germany, it's quite common to have very long performances. Like there's some opera performances 5-6 hours long. That's just normal, you know. It's a sort of cultural practice of putting yourself into a performative situation, but not to be entertained, but to engage in the topics and feel new feelings and you know, kind of do something different. So, yeah. I think this is really setting the groundwork for me to really go investigate the 24-hour idea and then really, do this in a number of ways. Physical, virtual, through film, through sculpture, through interactivity, and then really investigate the differences between them and what that means.
And we really didn't talk about what 24-hour durational performance was, because like, I just wrote it down and said it, but they kept like saying, we have to do it 24 hours, or like, what does this mean? Or I immediately was not thinking about the audience. I just thought we could do whatever we wanted, or like, me and Carola were meeting from like October till maybe, I don't know, April. So we already had 24 hours. So was that the 24-hour performance, or was it like us taking these notes and having separate meetings? Was that the 24 hours? So like, that's what I found interesting, our different interpretation of it. Because I don't know if I don't immediately go to thinking about what the audience is experiencing and thinking about what the maker is experiencing. In terms of like, what does it mean to be durational?
Exactly. And I mean, I come very much from the concert dance idea of, you know, you have to produce something that the audience, you know, has a very special experience, and you have to sort of follow through and deliver on expectations, but also then challenge them, right? But I'm very like, I really appreciate the opportunity to rethink that and really put process first before delivering something to an audience, before, you know, catering to or fulfilling expectations, etc. Because I mean, there's also a process in becoming audience, right? So for me, a lot of this stuff is about learning about becoming audience. And I think the main takeaway from all of this is like, anything that you experience is a gift, and so what are you being given? What is the gift you're being given at that moment? And if it's a blank piece of paper, then what is that? That's a gift also. Right, because I think we deal a lot with expectations. Some audience members have very strong expectations, and then very strong ideas about what something was, if something was good or bad, or, you know, worth watching or not, or worth the money or not, whatever, all those things. And I think this is a very important conversation to have about expectations and audiencing or becoming audience, and what that means. And again, that's a collaboration between audience and performer. And that in every performance there's collaborative aspects, right, between audience and performer. There's a witnessing and a carrying happening at the same time. And so I think this project for me is also about collaboration between audiences and performer, and what that is.
I guess.
And how it transfers to social issues or social situations. Yeah, done, right?
No, Heather and Ruben's like, I would take notes by what you all would say and make doodles and stuff, but like, what was your what was your interpretation of the project? Because that was a meeting that we had, and again, I feel like everything is very experimental, and I didn't know about performance labs until Carola told me, and I feel like even though I am in performance I still do things a lot as I think traditional studio artist maybe, but I just never heard that the performance didn't have to be finished. Like it could be experimental and workshops could be experimental. So, but I guess your takes on this. What did you all think about it or feel about it or?
I have a quick blurb and then I can
Yeah.
go pass the ball. Because this is my chicken scratch, which was just looking at your notes because I came late to this project. So you and Corolla knew one another from
UC Davis.
Yeah, UC Davis, and had been working together and having these performances and as well as like keeping up with Zoom meetings where I would pop in once in a while. So I had my own kind of technical things I'm a neophyte in, but really interested in, like, how can I incorporate this to that, or does that feel like a good fit, or does it feel like I'm shoehorning it? So expectation was a big question on my mind, just where I was at with like thinking of audience continually, as well as like pedagogically. I'm always saying this. So yeah, this was me reinterpreting a drawing that Maurice had made, and then just trying to figure out like how can I attach to this train that's already on the tracks, and where does it make sense? So that's what that is.
And like I don't know. It's like the expectations should me and say Rubens be locked together since October last year doing this, or can we just meet on one weekend and have little spurts, I guess, things to kind of put something together. I don't know. Maybe it would have been better if me and Corolla just met in June and just started doing something. I don't know. Both can work. It wasn't like it has to be this way. It has to be that way, but just different ways of, working together. And I don't know.
What's after that? You want me to go forward?
Yeah, I guess you can go there and then Rubens can say. If they want to talk about.
Do you have the video with the sound on?
I don't. The black and white one or the one you did.
The black and white one.
Yeah, you have to go to the number 28. Yeah.
My problem with sound is that this room is recording and also amplifying, and then if I play on here, we may get some mad distortion, but we can try it.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll just see what happens if I turn on unmute. So prepare your ears. Is this how this goes?
No, that's the one I did. You gotta go to a lower one.
The next one?
Yeah, keep going.
This one?
No, another one. One more. Okay, yeah.
So we're gonna get a little bit of that. Just gonna be.
Okay, yeah. This is the one Rubens put together.
Maybe we can mute this, but I can't hear it. See if that works. And why can't we hear it? Oh.
Yo.
Reese's face.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
no, there we go. All right, let's go. Should we go bibliography? What do we want to do? Or just pop off here?
It could pop off and then.
Okay. All right, and then let me fix the.
Yeah, again, I don't think he's gonna kick us out, but
You-
if we have questions, can they hear
Hold
us?
up, not yet.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Let me fix this. Okay, there we go. We should be up and running again.
Okay. I don't know if we have questions or if Rubens wants to say anything or about that experience. Again, I was just thinking I've done that project where it's just documenting myself from like a straight on, and I hadn't thought about taking the camera to do different angles, or maybe I thought about it for a second, I just didn't do it. So like I was mainly thinking about having fun with that, just recording that close to the board. That's what I was thinking about and enjoying, and just thinking, oh, can they see me looking at the camera, not looking at the camera, and walking off, and like I'm gonna have to do cuts and trims so you don't see me doing that, and is that okay to keep that stuff in? Does it have to be like edited in that way? And I don't know. I wasn't disconnecting to Ruben's music, but I was like, should I sing more like 'cause I felt like we didn't have enough time. It was only like
Right.
45.
It's about 25 minutes.
20, yeah, it was 5 minutes for each different shot. So like near the end, when I felt Rubens was really into it, and I had already gotten the 5 minutes, but I really wanted to do it till I was just sweaty and not over worried about it. So like I don't know. I feel like for that piece, I would want more time with it, you know. And I had more space, so I did feel freer. But there were still these things in my mind to like be in it, and in some ways I wasn't, in some ways I was. So
Satara has a question, yeah.
Thank you all. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Yeah. It was very, very nice to be a part of this. I don't have a specific question. I just wanted to say what I was observing, and I'm still observing, in like also in all your like discussion within and through the presentation. I think like there are two main things that I'm busy with in this PSI conference that is like, okay, it's like a performance studies conference, and there's a lot of lectures and like very like formatted in a sense, in a, you know, in the like conventional format of lecturing. And it was very, I mean, I've been looking for like, and I also couldn't be in London, so I couldn't really go to places, so I was really looking for like other formats of like sharing knowledge. And I think this was one of those precious presentations for me. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank God, it's like they're not like reading about things and telling me like what they have been thinking. So like, but I'm curious how you think about like performance as a, I mean, and specifically you're working with like also like performance on the screen, which is also a very, very specific framework, but like how do you think of that in relation to like creation of knowledge and exchange, which I think is like also connected to the idea that Carola was like talking about collaboration, because like it felt like, I don't know, I was busy with collaboration when I was watching everything, even though like the last piece, was it Maurice? That it felt like a solo work, but I was like wondering how that was connecting you all, or like how do you think through the apparatus? I don't know how to, yeah, and how does that, what kind of knowledge do you think, I mean, kind of doesn't matter, but like how do you feel about creating knowledge in this way, you know?
I know I took a breath, but I don't have to.
Yeah.
I came out of a couple years of like being really isolated with the kind of work I was making out of necessity or just out of opportunity. So I think for me, this has been a really delightful, refreshing, long sought after, not found until now, collaboration and hopeful future of, you know, I've had lots of different kinds of collaborative relationships, and they are all very different in as much as like who's contributing what and at what point do we come together. So maybe it's a getting started, and it's a little bit about learning where each other is currently invested as far as their research is concerned, and then how maybe we can fit together or overlap or be in conversation. So for me, it's been a little bit of getting to know you, even though it's like I may or may not have some previous experience just socially or collegially with people. So maybe that's where, for me, it is.
I have a thought on this too, because it relates with my way of approaching movement and movement classes, or how to teach movement. So the term I just thought of was, so in movement education, I look at alignment, right? So alignment would be not a straight line, but a system within which all elements can contribute and respond to equal degrees. So there's some kind of equality or something, or responsibility happening. So this project is, for me, an investigation into collaborative alignment, or alignment of collaboration. So you have these different people with different ideas and different experience and different media, and how can, and also the audience, right, and the audience experience. So if we do something where, you know, like I stress the system by making the head just work, all the brain work all the time, all we do is listen to text, then the rest of the body isn't contributing. So you know, just like every person needs to be themselves and be able to collaborate and move freely and respond to everything and express themselves freely. Also, in receiving presentations, the idea for me is to allow everybody who's presenting and who's listening to bring all of their body in, so that all body parts are able to contribute and sort of, you know, find joy from something, so that you move, you know, we move it around in the beginning, and then we see something visual, maybe we hear something auditory, all these different ways of expressing and receiving expression, I think, is sort of, for me, really important. And if there's like somebody reading off a paper that's very highly specified just in one area of our experience, it's just happening in one place, and it's really stressful to me to go through that, and really hard to follow, and to be more full-bodied, I think, is helpful. I don't know if that addresses your question, but that's just kind of how I feel about wanting to, you know, engage in these kinds of events, is by having this sort of more freedom to just kind of express.
I think too, the idea of the collaboration, for me at least, it feels almost like creating it, when you're asking the notion of creating a creation of knowledge, of it being somewhat of a Venn diagram where Maurice and I would sort of commingle at the middle, and prior to the performance I kept thinking of actually just playing tracks for him and DJing them. But then the more I started thinking about my circle in this Venn diagram, I started thinking about what I actually make, and then thinking about what that would be when it reaches the osmotic point, when it reaches Maurice. And so I started thinking future forward in saying, I have to turn up the BPM, whereas my beats per minute are usually slower. In thinking about Maurice and the ideas that they had towards drawing and music, I wanted to marry that. I kept thinking about already the Venn diagram rather than just my circle be alone. And so that helped me thinking about this the collaborative effort in order to create something new that wasn't necessarily something that I solely did, but also thinking about Maurice and how we both embody this sort of middle stage in terms of a creation of a new experience that then would be a form of knowledge, you know.
I'm just curious, did any of the pieces have like audience in the same place as it was being made, or were they all like filmed for the camera?
The ones with me and Corolla, I couldn't see them, so I don't know how many people were around, but there were people, I guess, coming in and out.
It was a public place.
Yeah, it was a public place, and I always go to like audience is us, because in that performance I'm blindfolded. I really don't know unless Corolla touched me that there's another person there. So like I like to immediately think that we're also the audience. So I'm fine. So but like when we exhibit our work as a drawer and painter, I don't expect to be there necessarily besides the opening. So I don't know how much I worry or think about the audience in like that way. Like because we're just trained to like, you're probably not gonna see most people besides the opening or closing. So, or you just put the work up and it's out there. So that's why I think about audience in like a different way. And I guess in terms of documentation, it's like no one's telling us how we're supposed to document this or present this for a conference. So I'm thinking, well, let's have fun, or let's have visuals, or and I just put like a bibliography with it and notes and like try to structure it like a essay that we may get published or something like that. But like no one told me like how do studio artists or just creatives in general, how do we put these things together in like maybe a formal way? So like, that's what I like about it. So I don't know if this is how you're supposed to use notes, but it was fun, and I like just jotting down and taking pictures of like what they are all saying and what they're all kind of doing. I did take notes when me and Corolla were meeting, but I threw them all away because I wasn't sure that I was going to use them. Then I had to make some more notes, but that's what I found like interesting. So it's like you could kind of see like, I guess going into Heather's studio or going into Corolla's, like the insides of how we put things together. And seeing Ruben set up, I don't know, I feel like that stuff is like interesting too in terms of collaborate, just setting up and breaking stuff down, and like if we should show that or if that should be a part of the performance.
I thought it was actually interesting that Maurice and Ruben's setup was similar to Maurice and Mike's setup. I was on the right side, like in the screen, if you look at the screen on the right side, Ruben was on the right side. Maurice was doing their thing, drawing. And one was blindfolded in the performance. You didn't wear the blindfold, but I think with your eyes closed and you had headphones in. So you were doing that thing, and we were all like inserting, responding, sensing you. So there's different ways, like you can almost compare it, how do different people react to what you're doing.
I wasn't sure.
I don't know how you process, because did you do the drawing with Heather also?
You
tried different things, right?
We were in Heather's studio, so kinda yes, but it was from a different angle. But yeah.
We did.
Yeah, but so it's there's like sourdough, like there's this idea and this thing that's taking place, the drawing, and then other people coming into that, and it changes it almost, even though it's very similar, almost looks like it isn't the same at all, but it is very similar still. But Maurice, I really love how you're sort of like very gently anarchic. I guess like I love how you just are open and don't come to a project with just like, oh, this is what it should be. These are the things we need to do. And just open things up for me a lot. It's really, really like helpful to come alive, for living and for performance making too. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I do too. It jolts me out of my comfort zone and out of my type A. Like, I have to have this planned per minute, per second, you know, because that's a stress that I don't need, and it takes me out of my body immediately. So this ultimately has been about like finding a way within the group to also maintain an embodied presence. So it's like destabilizing in a really grounding way, which is sounds counterintuitive, but it is. I just keep telling myself, this is good. This is what you've been looking for, and you should feel off balance, because that, if it needs to be productive, then it is, right? But whatever it is, it's where I need to be too. Like, as an artist, it feels really challenging in a great way.
Well, I like that Corolla brought Carl and the people at CAM, because I felt that way, because I like that I got to like not carry the weight or feel like I'm carrying the weight of what this is. I like that I got to kind of say, "Oh, Corolla," and then like all these people, musicians, came in and started doing these things. I didn't have control over it. I wasn't trying to control them, but it's like I couldn't like, you know, because I'm used to just having my music on and being able to play what I want. I think giving up control, let Rubens control the music and let these other people control like the sound and stuff like that. That's what I found like interesting. Because for me, it like helps to know, like, I think I'm free in some ways, but like it all becomes this structure even if you do feel free. So how do you kind of, I don't know, break that up and challenge that? So like, you know, that's what I liked about it. I would like more of like if you and Rubens did something and you and Corolla did something like without me, or like to have separate people. Just, I don't know, I like to see how it would mesh and kind of grow and expand without my face or my being so present, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, so there's these other 7 people that we don't have here right now that were also involved in the live performance. It's the Slow Ear Ensemble, and one of them made a film. So all of that is going to be on my website. I'm sure on the other people's websites too. But if you want to see all the videos or the other films that were made and how this project goes on.
Yeah, thank you. I will check it out for sure. And thank you all. I have to actually jump into another session. So I have to say goodbye, but it was very nice to meet you.
You as well. Thank you so much for showing.